And in the age of COVID-19, we can see another warning of fake news or misinformation about COVID-19 situation. And right now, Nad Bunnag is joining us. Nad, you have been checking fake news. So what you can share with us?
So there are a few fake news stories that are circulating on social media during the outbreak of COVID-19. So today we'll be looking back at some of the stories that actually circulated on social media. And some of them we actually believed in it because of how extraordinary these stories are. And some of them include scientific stories as well. One of them was this story that has already been proved that is not true, which actually says 1 banana a day keeps the coronavirus away. So this sounds a bit irrational to begin with, but there was a video that claimed research made by scientists from the University of Queensland in Australia, which has proven that bananas can improve your immune system and help prevent COVID-19. Later on, the university actually said that this is not true, so please do not share the video.
And people must have believed it already, but it's fake.
Yes, it's fake, thanks to the video editing skills. So there was one article that actually said that this is actually video editing. They actually got footage from this news channel and then they edit with other videos and banana pictures and putting captions up saying that banana can kill the virus. No, that's not true. Unfortunately.
Fake news, fake news becomes more dangerous if it gets picked up by mainstream media and amplified.
And what else,
yes, exactly.
regarding fake news that's been around?
Well, besides the banana story, there is another story that is quite similar, which is cocaine can kill the virus. So this happened in France. So it came from a tweet with fake screenshots saying that the cocaine can kill the virus. This has been retweeted so many times, up to a point where the French government even had to came out with this previous tweet there in French saying that no, cocaine cannot protect you from COVID-19. It is an addictive drug that causes serious side effects and it is very harmful to people's health.
Perhaps it's wishful thinking from some people that they would like cocaine to kill coronavirus.
I was actually laughing after reading this article because we all know that drugs are very harmful to your health anyway, but previously there have been a few scientific articles saying that some of these drugs are helpful in curing certain diseases. So maybe that might be the hidden agenda behind the story.
I think there's no way you can stop fake news, but I think the mainstream media has an additional responsibility of debunking these fake news instead of amplifying them.
Exactly. And there's another story. So this one has nothing to do with science now, but it has something to do with 5G networks. There have been conspiracy theories saying that 5G networks are spreading COVID-19. This sounds a bit irrational. I'm pretty sure people were wondering, how can this happen? So 5G mobile networks, of course, do not spread COVID-19 as viruses cannot travel through radio waves or mobile networks. But the reason why this story is still around and some people are still believing in it because many countries have already started using 5G networks back in 2018 and more in 2019. And that was the same year that COVID-19 started out in China. So some people were so quick to find a connection between 5G networks and COVID-19. Some people were actually sharing maps of the United States saying that areas that were hard hit by COVID-19 were also places that 5G networks are already in place. So besides such conspiracy theories, these are the stories that are also linked to groups that have always been claiming that wireless airwaves can cause cancer. However, there haven't been any credible evidence on this one yet.
Yes, so much fake news around, Kunat, but what's the tendency that why do people tend to believe in fake news, and how should we try to prevent it?
So there was an article by the University of Melbourne saying that humans are very bad at detecting fake information anyway. This is because in these days, fake news are very similar to real news. Unless you're a scientist or you got an A star in science, whether it's biology, chemistry, or physics back in school, we tend to find it very difficult to differentiate between what is real and what is fake anyways. So especially during COVID-19, if we think is interesting information, we just tend to pass it on to other people because we just care about them, not really because, oh, this is helpful information, and we tend to believe it. The first time we read it, we tend to believe it first. We don't really tend to analyze whether it's true or not, because all of us were not really scientists to begin with. Or even there's another story, even though it has nothing to do with science, but this story definitely put smiles on our face during that time. So that story was the animals in Venice. So there were photos of swans and dolphins swimming in Venice. So that became a sensation online because people believe that no boat traffic can really improve the environment. Because when we think of Venice, we think of all the gondola boats and speedboats. But when there was a lockdown in Italy, the boat traffic was not there, so people were led to believe that when there's no pollution, all the animals are coming back. But these stories were fake, unfortunately. But it did give us a lot of smiles when we were social distancing.
And what's the tip for all of us when we read the news, how to prevent it or how to check it?
So I would say the best way is don't believe in everything you read. That would be the best advice right now. But there is other advice as well. So in this time, the times of crisis like these, governments and authorities have a key role here besides the journalists in providing the detailed and accurate information to the public. So that can actually help prevent the fake news circulating or even misleading information that we might be receiving during crises like these. Besides the information from the government as well, we can also check with websites that actually have fact-checking or a web page that is dedicated to debunking these fake news, such as AP, AFP. There was one website, Snopes, if I could pronounce it correctly, or even the WHO has dedicated a web page called Mythbusters. So they actually had this information with all the myths that we believed so far. For example, saying exposing yourself to the sun can kill the virus, which is not true. Spraying alcohol all over your body can kill the virus. No, it cannot kill the virus, especially when the virus is already in your body, including the 5G network can spread the COVID-19 is already debunked in this website.
Good Nat, I hate to say that the 3 or 4 items of fake news you just presented seem to be more interesting than some of the real news we have been hearing.
Oh, but it definitely gave me a lot of smiles, especially with the swans and dolphins in Venice. If it was true, it would be such a phenomenon, including the banana story as well.
Yeah.
When I first read that
No,
story,
good.
I was
Now we have.
thinking maybe I should read it.
I think as journalists now we have the added responsibility to, call out when there is fake news and try to, seriously debunk these fake news so that people will not get confused or be misled.